Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue. Sorry, the camera's kind of grainy. I'm sitting here in the parking lot at the gym, about to get my workout on. So I just want to say real quick, everybody's feeling some way about, the loss to the Rams and, not being in the playoffs anymore. And the season ultimately coming to a screeching halt. And I understand that. I know that there were a lot of comments on my channel and everybody else's YouTube channel and things of that nature that, I understand people are upset, but, the disrespect, guys, has got to stop. I understand that, you're upset about the team losing. And, well, some of them are actually people from other teams coming in trolling too. But as far as Cowboy fans, I've said this once before, like, we got to stop disrespecting each other. You know what I mean? Stop coming to the comments and calling somebody stupid or fucking retarded or whatever the curse words that you're... Can we just stop that? Like, let's have a little bit of respect for each other coming into, especially on my channel, because I don't really like to see that. Now I'm trying to create a positive environment over here. Let's just have that, and definitely don't disrespect me, because I don't put up with that, period. But with that out the way, yes, Cowboys ultimately faltered. They lost. Season is over, but guess what? Real Cowboy fans are going to be here no matter what, but there are some things, glaring issues that I want to go about right now. First of all, there's big talk about Scott Linehan and everybody wanted him to be fired, and I'm totally on board with that. There was news that came out that said that, Jason Garrett said that it won't be much change going on the coaching staff. But just remember one thing, guys. The team is not going to tip their hand to the media. You can't just go out there and say, oh, yeah, we're going to fire this coach next week. You can't do that. I mean, just think of a regular job. You're not at your job and your boss doesn't just put out there on a press release, yeah, this such and such is going to get fired next week. Such and such is getting fired today. You can't do that. It's moral clauses when it comes to that. It's the morality of the situation. You can't do that. So again, something is going to happen. There's going to be changes to the coaching staff. There's definitely going to be players that's not going to be here next year. There's a whole skew of free agents that we're going to have on the team that either need to be signed or go elsewhere. Now, I will say that I'll probably go over that in another video. But, even though the season is over, as a YouTuber, I'm still going to be doing videos just like I did last off season, because I actually started my channel last off season. So I'm still going to be doing them, throughout the year. I'm not going to stop. Like some people don't, after the season is over, some people will no longer do videos, but I will continue to do those videos. Now, as far as this game goes, oh, I'm sorry. I was in the middle of talking about. So, we don't know who's going to be out this season as far as coaching staff goes, but, we all want Linehan gone. Like I said, they're not going to tip their hand to it. I think Mark did a video earlier talking about Stephen Jones. Yes. Now, ever since a couple of years ago, Jerry Jones has given Stephen Jones a lot of rights to the team, as far as he's been. If you notice, Jerry Jones has stepped back a lot. He's not all into things like he used to be. You know what I mean? He's there when they come and talk to him and ask him questions, but he's not the one. He's ultimately signing the checks on certain things happening, or signing the bill for whatever decision that they're making. But when it comes to like business changes and things, it's all Stephen Jones right now. And if Stephen Jones tells you something, then I will go with that. But right now, like, it's just all smoke and mirrors right now. Don't look at what you hear with what Jason said, because Jason Garrett ain't making no decisions. He's the coach. His input matters, but no. I'll be honest with you, if Jerry and Steven want this team to win and do some things, you're going to have to shake up that. You're going to have to bring somebody in here that's a little bit more creative. And I'm not going to totally take a crap on Scott Linehan. I think that he's a decent guy, but my whole thing is this. For this team, for this young quarterback, and him still trying to learn things, you have to be a creative offensive coordinator to come in here to do some things. And I'm going to bring some perfect examples for you, and they're going to be quite simple. So, I like to keep things, in layman's terms on this channel, because there's a lot of different people with different football IQ levels that watch the channel. So I like to keep it basic. So I will say this. Well, first of all, before I even get into that, let's talk about the game. Now, our defense has been stout all year. Our defense have been playing a championship level all season until the Rams game. Now, there was a report that said that some of the offensive linemen, 2 of them to be exact, Wentworth and I forgot the other guy's name, but they knew 90% of what the defense was doing in that game. And I'm watching the game, and I'm like, they had to know something, because there's no way they were running the ball like that on this defense that's been stopping runners all year. We stopped a dynamic offense like New Orleans when we beat them earlier in the year. So to tell me something like that is kind of just weird in my ass. Like, but now that that's come out, it's starting to come full circle. So now I'm going to put my take on that. So if these two offensive linemen were tipped by another team, maybe, perhaps, and they knew 90% of what the defense was doing, at what point as a defense are we not adjusting? Now, normally the conversation is, and we're normally talking about the offense not making adjustments. But our defense has always been able to make adjustments. And I'm going to tell you 2 things why that probably didn't happen. So, you look at the game. You look at how fast their offense was. They were doing hurry-up offense. Not necessarily no huddle, but they were hurrying back to the line and then figuring out what they were doing, because they wanted to make sure that the defense wasn't making no substitutions. They wanted to wear down the guys we had out there and keep them in that same scheme. They didn't want us changing our personnel on defense. That was smart by their offensive coordinator to do that. Of course, we don't do stuff like that because we don't have a coordinator that's capable of being that goddamn creative. So again, I got to give it to the Rams. McVay and his coordinators over there, they are doing the damn thing. They literally took a page out of the Rams game. I mean, out of the Colts game when we got beat 23-0 with Frank Reich. They took a page out of his offensive play calling. They took a page out of New Orleans. I look at it like this. They looked at what we did with New Orleans and saw how we beat them, and they were able to counter that. They took the strengths and the weaknesses from that tape, and then somebody probably went and talked to one of the Colts staff, and was like, "Look, I know that we're both still in the playoffs, and hey, we might actually see each other in the Super Bowl. Who knows?" At that time, but the Colts are done. But I'm just saying, like, at that time. And he was like, well, it may come down to us either playing Dallas or the Eagles or something in these playoffs. So if we play Dallas, I want to know how to stop their defense, because, blah, blah, blah. So, that conversation was had. That conversation was had. So when you hear 2 offensive linemen from the Rams saying that they were tipped, but they don't say where the source come from, that's the only possible game that they could have got it from, because that Colts game is the only game this season that we got beat that bad. So they took a page out of what they did, and he basically piggybacked on what that offensive coordinator did and was able to figure out a game plan to bypass what we were doing. And it's not real hard because we don't make damn adjustments. Even with our defense, like, we play pretty much base nickel. You know what I mean? Our defensive front has different stunts and things that they do with switching up personnel. But how you counteract that is you don't allow them to make substitutions. You hurry up to the line, doing things like that. Even when you don't go no huddle, they hurry up to the line and they even if they don't snap the ball right away, they hurry up to the line and then they drain that timeout, and then they're able to sit back and look at what our defense is doing, and McVay throws the call out there and be like, oh, let's run this because this gap right here is going to be open. So that's what happened. It ain't like our defense sucks. It ain't like Antwaun Woods all of a sudden forgot how to play football. You know what I mean? Because they've been doing good all year. But that's the only other option I could see that happen. And, after knowing information like that, that definitely makes sense. And I don't know anybody else talking about that right now. So I'm going to throw that out there. And I'm about 90% sure myself that's exactly what happened. Because, again, teams talk to each other. And if team coaches or something have friends with other coaches, and everybody has a common hate for the Cowboys. So I'm pretty sure they helped each other out when it came to that. And all the Rams did was just come up with their own little scheme to counteract what we do on defense and the good things that we do to be able to beat us. And that's what they did. And they knew the Cowboys wasn't going to adjust. I don't even know why we even go into the damn locker room at halftime. There's no need to, because we don't make any damn adjustments. We might as well sit on the damn bench and play cool and sing Kumbaya. They might as well go out there and play spades during halftime, because they definitely damn sure ain't making no adjustments at halftime. So it is what it is. If this team, if the Cowboys are going to be winners ever, they're going to have to make some changes. And this conservative crap that they do every year pisses me off. I'm a fan. I will always be a fan. I love my Dallas Cowboys, but at the end of the day, man, this shit is too obvious. It's too obvious. And excuse my language, but I'm just passionate about my team, and it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Now, I've heard people say, oh, Dak sucks. Oh, well, Dak didn't play well. Well, Dak actually played a decent game. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't perfect. He could have done better. Yes. I will say that. But everybody had a hand, and some of the play calls were decent in the game, but we just didn't execute them. So, that part goes on the players. I will say that. But the Rams, for the most part, knew what we were going to do. Now, you look at us on offense, with that whole Amari Cooper and Marcus Peters crap. They've been fighting and tussling the whole game. Michael Gallup had a good game, but again, it just wasn't enough to get us over the hump. One thing that I hate about our offense is, yes, we're run first, but you can't be one dimensional. You got to be able to throw the ball too. And that's not trying to knock Dak, because to me, Dak can throw the ball and he can do some things. He's been clutch. We've seen him do things in games, but that you got a young quarterback like that that's still learning how to read defenses, and one that you don't let have full reins of the offense either. If you notice, Scott Linehan, on only a certain times, what he does is he'll give Dak a play, the main play. Then he'll give him two other options to audible out to at his leisure, depending on what he sees the defensive formation that he's going up against. But I want to say maybe 60% of the time, when you see Dak play uncomfortable and you see him do like a stupid pass or he throw the ball too fast and the receiver's not there, some of that is because the receiver wasn't paying attention. And other times is Linehan saying, I want you to run this play. And you can tell because Dak is not looking at his reads or looking at his progressions. He's not going through his progressions and looking at his reads to see who's open. Whenever Scott Linehan is telling him, this is the play I want you to run. I don't want you to do anything else. This is what I want you to do. I want you to focus on this. And when you look at that, it's like, okay, common sense. I'm watching the game and I see that. I'm watching it. So I know it's happening because I can see the shit. There's no way you're going to tell me that's not happening. Because how one play all of a sudden Dak is great and throws a great ball and does this and does that. Then the very next play, it's like a dud. Because he's not comfortable with Linehan's play calling. Come on now. Think about it. Other teams have said it. Other teams and other players primarily have said it themselves. That offense is so lackluster. It's conservative. It's dry. we know what they're going to do every game. It doesn't change. When we watch tape on them, we see the same thing over and over again. So defenses know what to do with our offense. They know. Whenever we have a good play, that's because Dak improvised it. That's because Dak did that. That's because Dak changed it to something else that made sense. And when it was a read that he actually seen before, he was able to audible out of it. But if it's something that Dak hadn't seen yet, again, this is playoff football. What did I say in a couple of videos in the past? That when the season is over and you get the playoffs, that regular playbook, you toss that, because teams have seen that all year. They go back and look at your last 10 or 5 to 10 games to see what your tendencies are and what you do. This is why they watch tape on you. So when you get the playoffs, you got to come up with some creativity. You cannot win in this modern NFL without a little creativity. You can't do it on just talent alone. I'm going to say it again. You cannot win just on talent alone. You have to have some creativity. You have to switch it up. You have to do different things that you have never done before to trick teams. We do the same crap over and over and over and over again. And as far as the defense goes, Marinelli has done a damn good job with this team over the years, even before Chris Richard got here. When Chris Richard came in here, he lit a light under their asses, and they played better. But this particular game, I'm telling you, it was something different, and I smelled it the whole time. But now, knowing that information, it's all coming full circle and making sense to me now. They literally dropped the goose egg on that, because the Rams did their homework. And the Rams were hungry, and the Rams wanted to win this game, and they wanted to show everybody, hey, our defensive front can stop these guys. Now, some people say our offensive line was trash. They didn't have a great game. They probably didn't play the best, but it wasn't sucky either. I think they didn't even really they didn't even register a sack on Dak. I think that one sack was because that stupid grass. I don't know what the hell that play was, where Lyle Collins grabbed Dak because I guess he was protecting him. I don't know what the hell that was about, and why they called that, because I've never heard that before. It seems like they pull stuff in the back of the NFL rule book that ain't been called since who knows when, since it was made. And then I was like, oh, we're going to pull this up for the Cowboys. If they do something like this, we're just going to call it. So that's how I look at that. And then you have, our offense just being lackluster and just doing what we do, because there's no way you're going to tell me that, okay, 1 week we have a great game because Linehan decides, okay, well, we're going to try something new this day. And then he goes back to what he does normally. It's a habit that he has where it's like, I'll try something new, but I'm comfortable with the conservative way that I coach. And, it's a damn shame. And he's got to go because of that. We need an offensive coordinator that's going to come in here, that's going to be creative, that's going to shake things up and utilize the players. Name a time that you've seen Tavon Austin on the field. Why was Tavon Austin not on kickoff and punt returns? Why? You got Jordan Lewis back there. Why was he not out there? I understand if maybe he was dealing with a little bit of the groin injury or whatever, but it's playoffs. It's playoffs. Put your guys out there and play. Put them out there and play. Let the leg break if it needs to. Allen Hurns put it out there. Allen Hurns put it all out there. Allow your players to play. This is playoffs. There's no time for this knick-knack paddywhack. You know what I mean? Like shout out to Allen Hurns. He put it all out there, and he'll be fine next year by training camp or whatever. But again, your players want to go to battle. Let them play, yo. Dak is I guess now he should be the franchise quarterback. So allow him to be that. I understand that he's still learning how to read and stuff like that, but you have to help him. Your job as a coach, your job as an offensive coordinator is to have these conversations with him. Because goddamn Kellen Moore can't do it as a quarterback's coach. Tell me one thing that he's done for Dak. I don't even see them talk on the sideline. I think the Rams game was the first time I even seen him engaging in, the Seattle game was the first time I even seen him pull out the Microsoft Surface and look at stuff with Dak. Outside of that, what is your purpose, bro? Kellen and Linehan gotta go. Because you guys are doing absolutely nothing for this team, and us as a fan base is just sitting here with 3 playoff wins since goddamn 96. Ain't won a NFC championship game since 96. That's too damn long. And we still the laughing stock of the NFL. Why are we the laughing stock of the NFL when we don't suck? This team is not a bad team, but we are consistently talked about every day. I get tired of it every day. The Cowboys this, the Cowboys that. And then these stupid ass trolls come in here. Oh, Dak sucks. Have no substance at all. Have no football IQ at all. Know nothing about the game of football. Ain't even touched the football. Probably ain't never even ran in your life. Probably sitting in your grandmama's basement right now, sitting here eating trinkets and Hot Pockets and shit and playing Fortnite. Ain't doing nothing. So, on this channel, and some of you guys know a lot, and it's just for entertainment for you guys. But those of you that follow me, that you actually learn something from me, I appreciate it. I'm glad I can be able to do that for you. But I just wanted to put that out there right now that, we got to do better. After knowing that these teams are actually just basically photocopying what we do and know that we don't make no changes, that is sad. And that Rams game, you look at the game, we were up at one time, and the game actually wasn't going that bad. But you started letting CJ Anderson gas you, and at halftime you didn't make adjustments. You did not make adjustments. I understand that they were hurrying up and doing some things to prevent you from changing personnel, but you got to be able to counteract that. As a defense, they should know better. The offense gotta get better at that. We have the talent. Tavon wasn't out there. I know Cole Beasley was still dealing with the little ankle issue. I didn't see much of him. Blake Jarwin had a couple of good plays. But this is the thing. This was a chance for you to use Tavon. I said in my matchup video before the game, using misdirections and screenplays would have been huge for us in this game because they wouldn't have been able to stop that. And that's proven. But guess what? They listen. Obviously, the Rams listen to me because they watched the channel because they did it and we didn't. And now we're sitting there at home with the egg on our face because we couldn't get it done. It's funny because when they ask the players, I could tell in their faces, they want to be so truthful, but they gotta say the BS, scripted response. They can't say what they really want to say. But I know what they want to say is like, yeah, if we stop being so damn conservative, and that's why I can't be no player because I'm too honest, y'all. I'm too straightforward. Like I could, like, how they tell you, oh yeah, well, when the media tries to, don't give them anything to speak on. I'm like, look, I swear to God, if I was on the team, they would be trying to talk to me in my locker all the time because, they know they were gonna get some good good audio out of me. But at the end of the day, I look at it like this. It sucks. And it sucks for the players. They couldn't get it done during Tony Romo's era. They couldn't get Jason Witten a ring. They couldn't get DeMarcus Ware a ring. He had to go somewhere else to get it. And I would laugh so hard if the Saints end up winning the Super Bowl and Dez Bryant didn't even play, but since he's on that roster, he would ultimately get a Super Bowl ring too. And that would be crazy. You get rid of all these talented players, but the problem is you as a coaching staff, you're not doing the things that you're supposed to make this team better. It's the same thing every year. Change it up. You keep changing players, you keep changing coordinators, but you're not changing the top. So get rid of the coordinator. You see what happens when we got rid of the offensive line. coach. Colombo came in there and he did the damn thing. Now, even with our offensive line as broken, and with Connor Williams switching in and out and different with Suafilo, and, you know, you can't keep switching your offensive line like that because it messes up the camaraderie that the guys have. And even with all that switching, even with all the injuries with the guys, they still were decent. They still were able to block. We still had good runs with Ezekiel Elliott in games. And that's all because of Colombo working with these guys. And he seemed like the only one actually making damn adjustments. Wasn't nobody else out there doing it. Because Linehan ain't going to do it. And that's what just irritates me about this. And like I said, after knowing all that, I'm just hurt by it. I'm really hurt because I'm like, we could have definitely won that game if we would have just been a little bit creative on offense. And I said this when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. That's how the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Every one of all three of their running backs scored a touchdown. The tight end scored a touchdown. Everybody got a piece of the pie. When you get to the playoffs, you have to do things that you don't normally do. Where was Rod Smith at? They didn't put Rod Smith out there for nothing. They could have put him out on a wheel route and threw him the ball 20 yards down the field. They wouldn't have seen that. I saw that they did the I formation one time, and that play, was 2 yards, if that? I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. And that 4th and 1 play. Oh, it worked earlier before. Our identity, we just ran the ball. We just run the ball down the throat. We got Zeke. Zeke can do it. We can run. Okay, so you got Michael Brockers. You got Ndamukong Suh and Aaron Donald right there. And you're just going to run it right there? Everybody was in bunch formation. All you had to do was, you could have actually RPO'd that shit, and Dak could have swung out to the outside where there was open lane, and he could have got the first down and some. But no, you choose to ram it right there, and you know that all their guys are bunched right there to stop Zeke. That's stupid. Zeke is great, but he's not superhuman. That one guy cannot stop 7 guys from pushing him, from not being able to push him away from the yard marker. So I'm just saying, we got to use a little bit more common sense with that. That's all I had to say about that. But like I said, you know, the season's over, but hey, at least you're going to still get content from me, Mark, and the other guys. But it is what it is. But I just want to know what y'all think about that. Let me know what you think about what I just talked about. I just think that it's sad. You know, teams get tipped. They figured out, you know, what we do. And all they got to do is watch tape, and then they're just able to do it. But shout out to the Rams for being creative and having a great coach and great coordinators and able to do things, you know. But, you know, like I said, if we would have done some things on offense kind of like what they did, we would have won that game. But it is what it is. With that being said, y'all, it's your boy E2 Blue, always keeping it real. I'll talk to y'all soon. About to go get my workout on. I'll holler at y'all later.